Yo, welcome back to another Mecha Break video. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about the top 10 things that every new player should know about Mecha Break. Now, this will be in no particular order, so I'm not going to say the best for last. You can use the time frame stamps I'm going to have to kind of scrub through. I just ask that you just, let the whole video play out if you wanted to. But if there is any tips that I put in this video that you did not see and you think that someone should know that tip, please leave a comment down below. If we have enough tips, we might make a part 2 and we might even feature your comment in that video. So if you want to be in a video, here's your chance. Now, this is a wider range of tips, some things that have been asked while we were live streaming, some things that were asked in our comment section. There's a lot of tips we're going to kind of talk about. Some are going to be like really no brainer, but sometimes people do ask for these things and they ask me, where do I find this? How do I do this? And I just want to make sure we have set up precedence. So without further ado, let's get into our first tip. All right, tip number 1 right here. Set your default striker. So many people don't know this and they come by the stream. They're saying, how do you keep getting the exact same striker? People keep taking my striker. Is there any tips and stuff? Yeah, set your default striker. If you click on this right here, this would allow you to pick any striker that you are comfortable with playing. Now, by default, this is going to be enabling all of the strikers that you have available for you. Even test trials for 7-day trials, whatever it is, you will have it here specifically. Again, like I said, by default, all of them will be here. So deselect which one you don't want and keep the ones you do want. Now, the way it works is you're going to be able to have it set up for Operation Verge, which is the 6v6. You're also going to be able to have it for Mash Muck, so however you want to play with Mash Muck, and then Ace Arena. Now, as you see here, Ace Arena I have yet to actually play, which is a 3v3, but as you see here, all of them are enabled. So if I want to specifically choose what striker I wanted to use in Ace Arena, this is how I would specifically choose it. Now, using what I already have, here is my Operation Verge. This is my 2 comfortable ones right now. I use Stellaris, which is what I'm trying to mostly use. And if I get kicked off and I'm forced to be something else, I don't mind picking Tricera. Now, Tricera is just a really good overall beast of a striker. He can heal, he has great defense, great shield, good damage, good nuker on the 3. It's just Tricera is just an overall good striker. So if I can't pick Stellaris, and I go into my Tricera from my understanding. Now, the way it works is if you just want to be one striker only, you would just select the one striker. So if I just want to be Stellaris, there you go. Now, if I go into a matchmake and someone else is Stellaris, most likely I will be the Stellaris player because I only want to be able to play that one specific striker. Now, if I decide to pick Tricera, I will be the one kicked off and I will pick Tricera instead if they only have specifically set up for Stellaris. So if you want to lock a striker in, this is the way to do it. Now, I can't prove this, but if a Stellaris player, like we're just using this an example, if a Stellaris player wants to be Stellaris and they only choose a Stellaris, I get kicked off, I become Tricera as my option, okay? I become Tricera, and anyone who wanted to be Tricera, now they are kicked off because I had to be kicked off of a striker. Now, I can't prove this, but there's many times where I felt like people were taking too long to pick a striker, but I don't know if there's a priority since I was the one that backed off of my main striker and I had to go to a secondary striker, that they're making another person who has a secondary striker as your main to then kicked off to something else. I think that is how it works. I can't prove it, but there's times where I'm like, we're doing an objection style payload or something, and Tricera is normally picked in a lot of matchups, and I'm surprised to not see there's people who are waiting to use Tricera. I think I can't prove it, that's just my general theory, but again, here is very important. Tip number 1, please set your default striker so you're not stuck playing a striker that you're not comfortable with. All right, tip number 2. A lot of people were asking me, how long did it take for me to get Stellaris? How long did it take for all that? Now, it all depends on your playstyle, but most important thing is right above me, right? All these right here, no missions. You want to select missions to make it easier for you to get mission tokens. Now, I have no missions for this week, and this is a weekly mission setup. So So if I was to click on this, I can have up to 6 missions specifically here. Now, these are all of your missions that you can generally pick from. Here's is a Stellaris. We go ahead and click on that. Now, if we do the Stellaris,
mission available. Please check the details.
If we do this Stellaris mission in the location that is asking for the Volterra Alliance, with that, and I'm able to pilot Stellaris and get kills, I will actually get those mission tokens as you see here. To the right. Now you might see where it says 2, 4, 7. There's double. There's 100 and 100. Now there's 2 you can get, but you do need to have the game pass to get the double reward specifically for it. But this is a way that you can get mission tokens. So keep that in mind when it comes to these missions. Very important. When you start off the week, just go ahead and do your missions, get that set up. Pick your characters you're comfortable with. Maybe you're comfortable playing with these characters, maybe not in rank, but you take it in casual, you still get that taken care of. So this is a really good way to earn mission token pretty quickly. And depending on how you play, this can make it so much faster to get whatever character or cosmetics you want specifically. All right, tip number 3 is your name card. So many people go into here and ask me, how do you have a special name card and special icon? So if you go here specifically, I currently right now have Reckless with this title here, Obsidian Phantom. Now, Obsidian Phantom you get from doing challenges, and we'll go ahead and show you guys that as well. But here you can customize your name card, so when you're going into these missions, you can look a little bit more special when it comes to it. But here you also have, this is the only title I currently have right now, but as you can continue to do more challenges, which I will show you in a second, this is how you will get your titles, and you'll be able to add whatever title you want specifically. On the bottom, you also have your medals. So if you want to go ahead and click off a medal, and you see here, you can select all the medals you have specifically. You can add to it, and then you're good to go. So if you want to specifically show off some of your medals, this is how you would do so. Now, to actually show you where to do the challenges to get those special titles, you have to complete all the challenges, including the advanced one. But you go to Tactical Station, and you're going to go to the 3rd one underneath on the sub menu, which it says Challenges. You go here, you complete these things. Let's say you want to use Falcon. There is 5 basic Falcons and 5 advanced Falcons. Every single one that are advanced are normally going to be tougher challenges to really push you to your knowledge, to your max, but you're really just using what you learn in a harder environment. So once you complete this, like for instance Stellaris, once you complete this, you will get the title and you can add it to your name card. All right, tip number 4 and tip number 5. People are going to be like, really? Did you really have to say that? I have to, because people have asked me, okay? I gotten this so many times. Where is the training room? If you go to Tactical Station, okay, there is one that says training room right here specifically. This is the best location to be testing out your mech. Please do not be that person. I know there are going to be people that say, yeah, I went right into rank and went to try a new character. You could do that if you want. Your team might not like you, but go into the training location and learn specifically how to use your mech. So for an example, we're going to hit training here. We go into training. Now I could choose to breaker whoever I want. So let's just say for the sake of this video, I want to try Inferno. I didn't get a chance to play Inferno when I did the beta, and I have yet to really play with Inferno right now. But whatever you had currently right here is what you're going to be going into, and then you would hit right here, right next to my body, where it says space. Let me see if I can get out of the way. There you go. You go there, and that would actually bring you to the training room. Now we're going to go over the training room just a little bit so you guys have a basic understanding, but you can kind of go wherever you want to do with this, however you want to do it. But now that you're actually here, you can do whatever you want. Nothing crazy. You can jump, you can use your energy, you can shoot, you do whatever you want specifically. Okay, now on the side right above me, there's a lot of indication above me. You can see here there's a manual overview. So if you want to see how your actual character weapon kit is, hit F2 if you're on mouse and keyboard, and you get to see the whole entire kit. Now if you hit F3, you go into the training location where you can either bring out another mecha striker, or you can bring out NPCs that are that you would find in Mashmuck. So let's just use for an example, we're gonna put Falcon. Poor Falcon. And now, with that being said, a Falcon has now appeared. Now you can fight the Falcon, do whatever you want to do with the Falcon, or whoever you decide to put. But now let's say you want to make the Falcon a challenging Falcon. You want the Falcon to actually attack you. You want to go to striker settings, and then you see testing AI striker mode. You want to make sure that that is currently on. Now, when that is on, and you leave this auto respawn on, if you wanted to, meaning like once you defeat them, it will automatically spawn a new one. If you don't want that to occur, you can just turn that off. But once you do that, that Falcon is going to go away, and you're going to notice that this Falcon is going to start attacking me. You see? Now you can do whatever you want. Now, for the sake of this, we're going to turn this off so that we don't kill my ears.
Offline.
Boom. Now you can play with this however you want. This is really good. Again, when you're testing out mechs to see which one you like, figure out their kits. On top of that,
Reactivated.
On top of that, that also gives you a chance to really see who are your worst matchups and try to see if you can counter if you're in a bad situation where you happen to have that striker on you. So, like for instance, if you want to deal with parrying, you want to practice on how to parry, this is the perfect time to learn how to parry. Now, we did show that video. We did show some parrying situations for Stellaris. You can learn how to play Stellaris if you want to check out the Stellaris guide, which is doing really good, which I didn't appreciate you guys. You can go ahead and check that video out. But however you want to practice your striker, this is how you do it. Now, if you wanted to do mash muck targets, here they are right here specifically. So if you wanted to see how it would be, let's just say, bringing some Mashmuck NPCs here, this is the ones you will find in Mashmuck. And look, here you go. This is a good way to see how good your range is, how good things are versus other things if you want to try Mashmuck. Now, there are other features here that you can see right there. You can start using some call-in airdrops to help you practice with Mashmuck as well. So if you want to just jump right into Mashmuck, you can practice Mashmuck here as well. Now, there are a lot of options here. You can go through all of this and see which one you want to actually try out. And you can have whatever you want to have it set up here. But this is something, again, a lot of people have asked me how to actually do this. And I just want to make sure you guys understand this is easy to do, easy to set up, however you want to play it. And that is your training room. All right. Now, tip number 5, like I said, people are going to be like, really, bro? I just have to say this. Just check your keybinds. A lot of people don't realize that you can change your keybinds, or they don't like the keybind and they're forcing themselves to like it or use it how it's set up. Please change your keybinds, hit the escape, go to settings. I'm using mouse and keyboard. Go to your striker for specifically if you're using an issue, if you're having issues with a striker, and go and look at what you want to specifically change. For an example, if you're playing Falcon, in our Falcon beginner's guide that we re-uploaded for everyone, that everyone's liking because it talks about how to use Falcon, one of the most important things we started talking about is actually fast landing. It is very important to understand what is ascending and fast landing. Fast landing is just a fast way for you to jump from the, if you're in the sky, to quickly drop down versus slowly going down where you can easily get picked off by a sniper. So understanding what your keybinds are is very important. Even if you're not using Falcon, fast landing is pretty good. So if you're in the sky for some reason attacking, you can hit fast landing and drop immediately to the ground and get some cover. So please, I know this is a simple tip, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, I do that all the time. There are people who don't do this, and that is the reason why I have to explain it in this beginner, top 10 beginner guide, top 10 beginners for new players, tips and tricks. Because a lot of people don't realize it, and they're forcing themselves to like whatever keybind it is. All right, tip number 6. There is something for melee players called melee weapon dash. Now, a lot of people don't realize this, especially if you're just like a sniper only, or you play different striker and you're trying to jump into melee. There's a lot of people who said, I don't really play melee. I know you started talking about Stellaris. What's the best tips for melee? Now, again, melee is a different style, but one of the things that's very important for all melee players, that melee players already know this tip, is that there is something called melee weapon dash, or weapon dash in general. Now, it happens to all the melee players, so Anisis, Stellaris, Panther, and Welkin, anyone who's melee as a currently of the making of this video, those are the only strikers that are melee specifically. But when it comes to melee, do the weapon dash. As you see here, this is how slow you go. Normal, you put a little bit of speed behind it. That is what it is. But specifically for melee dashers only. You can just tap your weapon, your left click to move, and now you're moving forward. Okay? Now, very important, extremely important. This is really good for Panther and Welkin, specifically Welkin, who is a really big unit to move around. That striker is going to take a while to get some places. This is what you're going to be using when trying to get around. Now, in my Stellaris video, we talked about this a little bit, but it was brought to my attention. I did not mention this, and I just wanted to mention this. If you are using weapon dash, which you're doing this, if you want to stop yourself, hit the back button. As you will go forward, just hit the back button. So if you're on controller, just hit the back button to go back. If you are on mouse and keyboard, just hit the S button and you should stop without using any energy. Now, if you're attacking someone, you can go ahead and just click your weapon and you should be able to stop and do damage to them. But if you are just trying to traverse somewhere and you are not attacking anyone, to not waste even a little bit of energy that you need, you can just hit the S button and be totally fine. As you see here, just hit the back button and then you are totally fine. Now, we talked about it briefly, but in this striker specifically, if we wanted to actually switch it to Welkin, so you guys can see, when it comes to Welkin, moving around is not as free as Stellaris or anyone else would be. You will see here, this is him. So weapon dash with him goes a lot faster. So this is super important when using Welkin. So you go ahead and tap your melee and then hit the back button to stop, and then you stop. And you instantly start regenerating your energy. So again, weapon dash, extremely important. People need to know this when you're playing a melee character. So if you're not familiar with melee characters, this is going to be very key when playing one. All right, tip number 7. Talking about the currency that is currently right above the screen, the top right specifically. So there are 4 different currency in this game. If you hover over them, you can click on them. These are called achievement points. Now, what is achievement points and how do you use them? Achievement points is learning the mech specifically. You earn this by doing your challenges. And you saw this briefly maybe when we hovered over it, but you see you can get 150 for doing this. I started to do the test pilot one. There is a mission for you to do all 10 of these, and you get a special event cosmetic, but you do these and you will earn some points here. Now, I earned these from doing all Stellaris and the 2, and I have 1450 currently right now. You do all that and you will earn achievement points. Now, what can you do with achievement points? And you remember we talked about your titles and your name cards. This is how you would actually edit your name card and your avatar. So let's say, for instance, this is what you have over here. This is my 212 kills, 70 deaths, 7.7 hours played. Now, if I wanted to change this and show something else, I would go here and click on this. And you see here, each one has their own value to it. So if I wanted to add this to here and purchase this, I can go ahead and purchase this. So for instance, let's go ahead and do KDR, for example. Boom. I just wasted 200. Or I wouldn't call it wasted. I just put 200 and then I can put this. I can then go to let's go total career deaths. I could unequip it, and then I can then equip KDR. And now when you look at this, now you see my KDR is 3.03 with my playtime being 7 hours. And as you see there. Now, what else can you do specifically? You could also add more insignia. So let's say you want to add more insignias here. You can hit unlock, and then look, for another insignia, it's going to cost me 100 tokens. Now, mission achievement points. So go ahead and click on this, and now I have an empty slot. We can go ahead and put this on there. And now we have 2 badges that are on my name card. So this is something that you can actually do and use those specific achievement points to bling it out and make it however you want specifically. Now, if you are one that likes to do Mash Muck, you can specifically look for one that deals just with Mash Muck or Ace Arena or however you guys want to play. You can specifically choose what you want and narrow it down versus seeing the whole entire thing altogether. Now, the next thing we're going to go over is mission tokens. Now, mission tokens you can get from daily logins, which if you see here as a currently of this video being out, you go to Ace Conquest, you have some like login stuff here, but at the same time, There was somewhere you log in for that day, you got 500 tokens. You do complete some battles, Operation Verge, you get 200 tokens for everyone you achieve. If you got MVP while doing Operation Verge, you get 200 each. If I do one more Mash Monk, I will get an extra 200. So you can get mission tokens that way. You also get mission tokens specifically from what we talked about on our first tip, which is the mission specifically here. There are some things that if you haven't done it already for the first time, like for instance, Mash Monk, you do a one-time extract, you would get 1200 mission token, and it can be 24 if you have the game pass for it specifically. Now, going over how else you can get mission tokens, you get them from doing your normal 6v6 at the end of the match. You get something for losing, you get something for winning. The more you win, the more streaks you have, the more accolades you had at the end of that mission. If you got triple kill, if you got MVP, the more mission tokens you would get specifically. If you do Mash Monk, how long you lasted for Mash Monk, what you extracted out with. Ace, I would assume Ace Arena is the exact same thing. Once you are done, you will also get some mission tokens that way as well. Now, if you go to logistics, I'm not trying to convince anyone to purchase anything, but if you get this, which I believe currently at this recording of this video was like 12 or 13 bucks. If you get it, you get double the mission tokens. So we talked about earlier how you can actually see some of your missions have maybe 200 and right next to it be another 200. You will get double the mission tokens. So if you got 2 kills with Celeris, you're going to actually get 400 when it comes to it altogether in total. So this is a way where you can get double the mission tokens, so it can get faster to get more mission tokens. Now, what would you use the mission tokens for? You go to matrix selection, and this is where you will spend your mission tokens. Now, this is how I got Stellaris. If you wanted to purchase anything else like Inferno, you will get, if you buy the battle pass. If you don't buy the game pass, you can get him eventually just having mission tokens. You can do your trial run. You can buy this if you wanted to have it. Or you can do some stuff here. Now, these are all Mash Monk stuff. You can have all these from Mash Monk. You can purchase that if you wanted to. There are supply crates. Now, these are limited supply crates that is only for this event for Season 0. As you see in the bottom, I'm going to try to zoom in for you guys. It will show seasonal Season 0 Reign of Fire. Now, in here are only this type of crates. So you could open these crates. Every crate has their own percentage to it. There are some limited edition stuff, or not limited edition. There are some very limited stuff, and then there's some general stuff you would get from this. And we'll open one so you guys can see what's inside here, but it shows you everything here specifically. You also can purchase the bar access card and the gym access card if you are one who wants to show off that your character and your piloters are working out, or they're going to the bar, or whatever you want to do. You can purchase this if you want to add some pictures, invite your friends. I believe you can invite up to 2 or 3 friends tops, and you guys can take pictures and hang out there if you want to. Now, if you start to spend your mission tokens, you start to unlock the next location, which I only spent 17,150. So out of that 17,000, I need to do about almost close to 3,000 more, and I can unlock these cosmetics specifically for my pilot. So if I wanted these, I would keep buying and using my mission tokens. Now, if I keep going, the next mission mile mark will be 40,000. Now, these would be specifically patterns. So if I was to click this, you will see how that pattern looks on the mech that you currently have selected on your default page. So you can kind of see what that pattern will look like. If I click on this, I think this one looks pretty cool. I can purchase this if I decide to get enough past 40,000 and have enough to purchase it. I can get this. This one looks pretty interesting too. You can change the paint color. We'll go over that as well. You have restricted keys that can be used at Mash Monk. Now, these are weapon skins that you can only get for that specific character. So if you want Anisis to be able to have this special fiery javelin, you can purchase this if you want to after spending 60,000. Here you have your lance for your Panther if you wanted to. This is for Lumine, and here's another restricted key for Mash Monk. You also have some air supply drone you can drop, and then you also, the last one here, you have your frame that if you want to make your avatar name card look pretty cool and looks special, you can also get that here as well. Now, when opening these crates, I know people have probably already done this, but let's go ahead and open one of these up. All right, now I have one of these. I went to my inventory. I have one of these. You can go ahead and hit use, and as you open this up, You're guaranteed a pattern. Depends on the rarity. So we got spots. So I can see what spots looks like on my character. This is how it will look on my Stellaris if I decide to keep it. And the other thing I received is Radiant Corite ore. Now this, you can actually open this up and receive 50 mission tokens from this. So if you get, you might get some green ones, you might get some blue ones, you might get some purple, you might even get a gold one. You open this up and it'll give you some mission tokens back. So here's 50 mission tokens from opening that up. All right, what else can you spend your mission token on? If you go to your striker design, and even your pilots does it too, but for the sake of this video, we're gonna, if you want to select another design, you can go ahead and spend your 2,000 tokens there. If you go here, you want to change the paint job. Let's say you want to change the whole entire thing, you can customize it, but you need to spend 100 mission tokens to be able to unlock a color for you. You can use it to unlock. So if let's say if I wanted this to be majorly all black, you can go ahead and click it and spend 100 mission tokens, and then there you go. You can go ahead and use that. Now, there are cosmetics for the pilot as well you can use, but that is what you can do, how you earn mission tokens, how you can spend them. Now, let's go over the next one. The next one is your Corite. Now, this is actual currency. It's a little bit more premium. You can specifically purchase Corite if you wanted to, but at the same time, you could also earn Corite as well. If you have stuff you don't want, you want to go ahead and sell it. Now, currently, I have some reservations when it comes to the selling part specifically, because you can sell whatever you want here pretty much and earn that person. So if I wanted to buy this Rain of Fire, I can purchase whatever how much Corite it is that I need to purchase this and buy this outright. Now the person who's selling this will get 1,600 tokens, a 1,600 Corite back, and now they have Corite that they can spend however they want specifically. Corite is mostly going to be used for purchasing things on the marketplace, so you can earn money. But the only thing is, so many people are trying to sell stuff. I just honestly don't know how many people are actually buying a lot of stuff. If they are buying a lot of stuff, they're probably buying a lot of stuff most likely for Mashmuck. I believe that is a thorn in the side for a lot of people, but you can buy whatever you want. So if you want to buy some patterns, you can go here and here's some patterns for 40. So instead of opening a box and trying to figure out if I like this pattern, I can go here and click on this and say, look, this looks different. I actually like it. If I had the Corite, I can purchase this right here. So Corite is more of the premium currency that is direct currency of your hard-earned money that you can translate them and put them into the game for in-game currency that you could also earn by selling stuff as well. Now, as you see here, people have bid one time for here specifically. There's a 0 time here. So you can buy stuff, you can bid on stuff, however you want to do it. But this is a marketplace for Corite. Now, the next is Matrix Credit, which is mostly going to be used for Mashmuck, and you can go here, and I haven't really done a lot of the stuff for Mashmuck and all the things that go with it, but you can use when you have some credits, you can use it and purchase these drops, weapons, however you want to purchase. You can purchase this here specifically for your credits. All right, tip number 8. I have to say something like this because people don't always understand. There are kind of roles in this game. There are tanks, there are DPS, there are specialists, they are healers. You really should understand that there are different roles. Now, you are hoping that when you pick a striker, you understand your role. But again, this is when training and casual play and challenges kind of helps you out understand it. But you also can look at the specific striker and look at, here's a medium striker, here's a light attacker. You can understand, and each one has special things. So Falcon here, if I was to click onto Falcon, here's Falcon here specifically, and here's the HP for Falcon, the blast and max energy. But as you see here, this is different stats versus if I picked, for instance, Tricera. Tricera has 70,000 versus Falcon had 32. Or something like that. Like, you can see that there are some differences. So this is your tank specifically, has a lot more shields, has a lot more HP. can do a lot more damage, but they're a lot slower. They don't have the energy in the fast regen as a Falcon would. So you have to look at your kit, see what you like, see that there are tank healing roles. Some people only like to heal. Well, here's your 2 healers currently as of recording of this video. You have Lumine, which says light support, and you also have Panaka, which is also your medium support. Now, there are going to be specialists that are going to be out there. Like, for instance, here's Serenif. Serenif says light support, but doesn't mean that Serenif is actually a healer. So you just have to understand what their kit is and understand what their roles are. There are different roles, but then you have people like Stellaris, which is like the Genji of the Overwatch kind of style. They jump into it. There's going to be people like Stego, who are more brunt. This is more like a Roadhog or something like that, and those, or a Diva in a sense. Those are the ones you're going to see that they all have their own roles, and it's good to know what your role is. So if you're liking that type of role, you can pick more of that role specifically. Or if you want to pivot, let's say, you know what, I want a tank, but I also want to learn how to heal as well. Now you know what the 2 healers are currently as a recording of this video. I know a lot of people might say, bro, that's another useless tip. People ask me all the time, which ones are the healer? Who can heal? I like to heal. Who will you recommend? And it's like, all right, let me show you real quick. Boom. And now, oh, but I saw Serenif is a light support. Yeah, but they don't heal. So like, understanding your role, you can look here, you can see their HP, you can see their defense, you can see their energy, you can see their recharge rate, you can see all of that from here. You can see how slow Tricera is versus another mech. That might play a factor into a lot of things. So just know your roles. Don't, there are tanks, there are healers, there are DPS, and depending on what objective you're doing, probably what you really want to focus on as well. All right, tip number 9. A lot of people don't know this. Some people just fly and don't realize this, but Falcon and Skyraider have special movement. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm going to leave a link and I'll leave a card here specifically. You can learn. There's a short specifically. I condensed it as small, quick as possible for like about a minute or so of how to learn how to fly with Falcon. If you want to learn the special moves, how to do the loop-de-loops and the downward spiral and the downward loop-de-loop and all those sorts. If you want to see that, you can go ahead and click on that as short. It kind of makes it simple. If you want to see a Falcon beginner's guide, I re-uploaded that video. You guys can check out that video. But these 2 strikers currently right now have special movements that it doesn't really tell you too much unless you do your challenges. And even then, some people don't really focus on it, or people don't always know what to do. Like we talked about before, when it comes to keybinds, it's very important to know what your fast landing is, because you're going to need to know that when you're doing these special movements. All right, a bonus tip before we get to our final tip. If you like Mecha BREAK content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. I would truly appreciate it. I know that's not really a tip, but that's just for me. If you like more content like this, that would help me out. Tell me you guys want to see more Mecha BREAK video stuff. So that is my little ad for myself to just remind you guys. If you guys got it this far, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I appreciate you guys. The Mecha BREAK community never lets people down, and I really do appreciate you guys. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We can get right into our tip number 10. All right, tip number 10 is certain characters, like melee characters, only specifically for melee, there are parrying. Now, a lot of people don't understand this. They just jump right into it and not really try the character. They don't go into challenges. There are a few characters that can melee specifically. We're going to go over. You have Anisis here. You also have Welkin. You have Panther and Stellaris. Those 4 strikers currently right now are your melee users. Now Anis does it as a secondary thing. You have to change out your abilities from the gun to the actual javelin, but you can actually, on your sword, you can actually change it to be a melee brawler if you wanted to, but there are parrying in the game. Now, every striker is different to parry. So, for instance, for an example, Anisis and Panther, theirs are pretty much going to be is you can hit each other with the sword, or you can actually use your shield to stop someone at the right time as they're about to swing with another melee. You can pop up your shield to actually parry them and stun them and not stun you, where you can then advance and do some attacking. and counter attack them. We went over sellers in our beginner guide, but if you hold right click, you're being able to hold your parry position for about 2 to 3 seconds and lock on to do that. Now, Welkin, his moves are going to be the spinning axe that he does. On top of that, he also has his shield that he also puts up as well. So there are a couple ways you can do some parrying with those mechs. So again, a lot of people don't understand this. You just go ahead and jump right into it. If you happen to be one of those players, you can parry. Now, it's very important to parry because when you are in a 1v1 situation and you're trying to win that battle, parrying is going to help you win. Now, that is all my top 10 things I think every beginner player should know when playing Mecha BREAK specifically. Now, again, if I didn't mention any of those tips that you think is important that every player should know, please leave a comment down below. Let's make a list. I'll make a part 2 to this, and we will feature every single comment who recommended this. Now, if multiple people recommend the same thing, I will try to put all the comments for that people who recommended it, but I'm going to most likely choose the first person who recommended it as the person who gets the credit. But if I get a chance, I can try to put everyone's name down. Like I said, if we decide to get more than another 10 or maybe top 5, another 5 more bonus tips that every player should know, we can make another video and I can have your comment featured. If you want to be featured in the next video specifically for the top 10 tips or top 5 tips, we can make another video for that. Now, if this video helped you at all, please hit that thumbs up button. If this helped you and you think it would help other players, share this video, help other players also see that they can also learn as well. Again, these are some basic tips. Some of them are a little bit more advanced. Some of them are a little bit more easier. Some is just understanding how the UI system specifically works for the game. And they're all different tips and tricks. But I just wanted to make sure if you are learning anything from here and you learned anything in this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I see you guys in our next video. Peace.